Top 5 mistakes people make when building a firearm. The planning edition. Coming right up. Yo, what up, fam? What's up? What's going on? We are live. As you see, my phone goes crazy every time because I forget to turn the ringer off. But welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Tuesday night Fireside Chat from Builders Tribe, man. It's just an exciting week. It's been a crazy week. Oh, man, I just flew in. No, I didn't just fly in. I drove in from Baltimore today, and it's just been one heck of a ride since Friday. Everything's been going on. But I'm happy to be back here with you guys because we got some interesting stuff going on tonight. We got, oh man, our subject for the night is top 5 mistakes, but I'll wait to bring the other guys on before we get down to it. But as usual, we got to take care of the housekeeping. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on a Tuesday night. If this is your first time and if this is your 5,000th time, even though we haven't done 5,000 shows. But if you've been here since the beginning or this is your first time, we thank you because you could be doing anything on the Tuesday night, but you decided to join us and partake in our conversation tonight on the Builders Tribe Tuesday Fireside Chat. So we really appreciate you. If you're watching on replay, we appreciate you watching on replay. You're dedicating your time to finding out something that we're talking about. If something we interest you, great. Drop us a like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Or if you have a question, if you're in the live chat with the tribe, go ahead and put 4 question marks in the chat if you have a question as we go on tonight, and we'll be glad to answer your question. Or if you just want to post something up, post a comment, post it up. We'll put it up on the screen for everybody to see. If you have a question of the tribe in the chat, don't put the 4 questions. Go ahead and ask your question. They'll be happy to answer it for you. But if you have it for us, put the 4 question marks so we know it's for us and we can answer it live on air. If you are watching on replay, go ahead and put it in the comment section because myself and Weapon X and Nas Veritas, we're always in the chat session and we're always in the comments answering questions even after the fact. So even if you're watching this 5 months down the line, somebody will see your comment and address your comment. So we really appreciate you and we want to make sure we engage with you. So with that being said, it is Tuesday, April 4th. Hope everybody had a good April Fool's Day. I saw a few April Fool's jokes that I really liked. I didn't do any this year. I haven't done any in a while, even though that's my birthday. I usually do a whole lot, but I didn't this year, and it is what it is. So without further ado, I want to bring on the partners, the guys that steadily make this stream and the forum happen. If you don't know about our forum, guys, visit the forum. It is on builderstribe.org. Go to it because these guys are always there. They're always willing to help you. Everybody in the chat session right now, I don't even know who's in the chat yet, but I know some of the names that are probably there. I'm sure Mr. Vino's there. I'm sure Elevance there. I'm sure Hawkeye and Weapon X are there. So these guys are always on point. And I'm sure if I missed anybody, again, I'm not looking at the chat, guys. So if I missed you, please don't take it to heart or personally. I'll put the chat up in a minute and I'll be able to look at it. But I'm sure Mr. Weapon X, Mr. Man himself is going to bring us your name and who you are and why you're there. So
what
Mr.
up, people?
Weapon X, what's going on, dude?
Man, I'm just getting some go-go juice in me, man.
Oh, man, why you look so tired? What's going on with you?
I'm just tired. It's been a long week. Running around doing
The week
stuff.
just started.
I know. For me, it hasn't.
Well, we got an exciting session tonight. You know, we always get off on talking about some of this stuff, man. But it wouldn't be a show without the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Hawkeye. What's going on, Hawk?
Hey, guys.
What up, buddy?
Everybody having a good time?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, man.
That coffee's starting to flow through me now. I can feel it.
Man, I've been drinking coffee all day. I got water this time.
No, I'm done with coffee. I'm on brandy now.
Brandy.
Old man medicine. It's old man medicine.
I should have went and got a bottle of brandy. Oh my goodness, man! I'll tell you what, I'm excited.
I'll pop up the usual suspects on here.
Yeah. Who we got in the
Darth Dav in the house.
Darth Dav, what's going on?
Got Mr. Vino.
I told you Mr. Vino was gonna be there, dude. Ed Levance, what's going on, dude?
Hawkeye, of course. Oh, wait, there he is. Bob Masavo.
What's going on, Bob? Matt,
Adam
what's
Adams.
going on, dude? Matt, we definitely gonna get into a little bit about what you're working on.
Mr.
And
Bernie.
Mr. Bernie. What's going on, Mr. Bernie? Ah, man, I'm excited. We got guys. We threw around last week asking for subjects to talk about, and as per usual, after the show, the guys hang around in the green room. If you guys ever want to get in the green room, and even if you don't want to be on air, if you want to hang around and come into the green room after the show, you're more than welcome, because we're usually there for at least 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes. I think once we went a whole hour after the show, because we were just talking about a bunch of different things and things we want to share with you guys. So last week we kind of narrowed down a subject talking about, what are the top 5 things that, well, that actually came a couple days after, when myself and Nas and and Weapon were watching some videos on dumb shit people do. And one of the videos was on a couple of guys, not a couple, what was it, 4 or 5 guys in Virginia, in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Yeah, maybe more, maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, they were,
and then the lone gunman
doing the dance, right? It was a video. It was just dumb. The guys had a shootout in the middle of a parking lot in a housing area. I mean, they must have I lost count of how many shots went into the air,
So when I watched it, it looked like, they ran up like it was the OK Corral and they were shooting up the saloon with dudes inside.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going, you guys have watched way too many late night gangster movies.
Yeah.
Way too many.
and they hit nothing.
Yeah, and I think the dude who showed up at the end, I think he might have just been in one of the buildings who was like, who the fuck shooting my shit up, and then ran outside trying to.
He was shooting in every direction.
He just ran out like I think I said like Tony Montana and Scarface at the end. Thought he was just going to take on everybody.
Yeah. So we just
dancing like a fool out there.
What are some of the things, the crazy things that people do? And we was like, that could be, kind of a segment as to what are the 5 mistakes or the 10 mistakes that people make. And
that just turned into 15, turned into
20
25. So we decided to break it down into segments.
What's going on, Sarge? Good to see you, man. We got Sarge in the house. What's going on, my dude? I'm not sure if it was on Reddit, because I'm not on Reddit, or I am, but I'm not. But somebody had sent it to me in Instagram. I'll send it to you, Sarge. It's nuts, man. But before we go forward, we got he's gone, so I guess he'll come back. Nas is trying to get in. I guess he got knocked off, but that led us to coming up with the 5 top 5 mistakes, and we tried to narrow it down to 5. And Nas, you ready? Nas, join us whenever you're ready. All right. We tried to narrow it down to 5, and we just kept going. Okay, but then there's this, but then there's this, but then there's this, and we couldn't narrow it down to 5. So what we did was we kind of separated it into categories. So tonight we're going to be talking about the top 5 mistakes people make in planning to build your build, because before anything else, you have to plan it. And that kind of came up every time we tried to think. So I was like, okay, planning. So what are the top 5 things that people make a mistake in actually planning their build? And give me 1 second, let me add this. So top 5 mistakes, but we want to talk about the planning part of it. So, and as we go, guys, please give us your comments. And if we leave anything out, guys, please feel free to add it, because we know there's more than 5. These are the 5 that we could think of to share that we thought might be in the top. And going forward, on every first Tuesday of the month, we're going to be going over, I think next month. What do we say next month? Let me just look at my list, because I got the list right here. And we talked about, let's see, operations. So things like, when actually doing the building, what are the top 5 mistakes people do? Okay. We talked about tools. What are the top 5 mistakes people do when it comes about tools or safety? So we have all of that coming, and we're going to be talking about all of it. But we couldn't talk about it all in an hour. You know,
how did you, I mean, that gets honorable mention.
What's that?
Bob. I said, Bob, that gets honorable mention.
Telling your wife you're making another gun. Yeah, that's for sure. That goes under safety sometimes too. Because that might not be safe for some people to say, I'm going to build another one.
That's the guy that's on his truth right there.
Oh, man. I, for one, I have to keep telling my wife that, the next one we're building is yours. The next one we're building is yours. And it actually will be hers because, yeah, she's got a Glad Hill frame that's been aching to get built. And she's going to build it, guys. I'm not building it. She's going to build it. And she's excited to learn how to build. So it's an easy one because the frame has already been stippled and, customized. The slide will already be customized. So she'll just have to put it together. So I think that's a good way for her to start. What you guys think?
Absolutely.
Because if I tried to tell her to do something that Hawkeye does,
you're going to end up with a truly custom piece.
Yeah, if I tried to tell her something, to do something that Hawkeye does, I think I'd lose her.
Oh, it ain't that hard. Of course, my wife wouldn't do it, but
yeah, I think she's excited to learn. I think she's just curious as to what I do, why I'm so excited about it. So, but anyway, Let's get into it, guys. First. This is in no order of importance, guys. We just put them all together, but not ordering enough parts and ordering cheap parts. I can't say enough. How many times have you guys, figured, okay, I planned it out. This is what I want to order. And halfway through go, damn it, I need something else.
Yeah. I mean, also you got to figure, there's certain things you order 2 of, 2 sets of pins. Yeah, is probably a good thing to have. 2 strikers or firing pins is always good to have because you never know. We've all seen that sheared firing pin from like a JSD, UPK or something before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always safe to order a few extra.
Yep. Yeah. Looks like we got Blade Boy in the house,
and that kind of goes back. Yep.
Go ahead. Now,
so the 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Yeah,
Bob,
were you hearing me?
Things like to fly and be free. Yeah, 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
My philosophy for pretty much everything.
Yeah, double up or more.
Yep.
And you can't always get original parts, block parts. And I don't have a problem with buying them from a reputable place, but always have your factory parts around for your first build, and you want to start changing stuff around. You'll know what's bad with these bad parts, and a lot of times it's nothing more than polishing some of these other parts.
Right.
Because here's what happens when you stamp these parts out. Like the factory, a Glock factory will have a brand new stamp, and they'll stamp these parts out, and they'll come through, and out of so many thousand, they'll take 100 or so, and they'll go to a quality control, and they'll have jigs set up, and these jigs will have a plus or minus for these parts, and they'll check all these parts. Well, those parts are going to work. Once those dies start to wear out, they'll sell them to a third party somewhere who will clean them up sometimes, but those parts will usually be tighter because they've been reworked and stuff, and they'll have to be hand fitted. It's not that they're bad parts, it's just that they just don't drop right in and work. You'll have to work them. So the key is to have some of these factory parts laying around that you can put in, and you can figure out, well, why this one worked and this one doesn't work, and a lot of times you can fix it. That's just my way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You said a keyword, reputable.
Yep. Or if you have another build laying around too, you can.
Usually when I buy a frame from somebody, like XM something, or XD. Those guys on our site, most of those guys are reputable, and they have reputable parts.
Right.
A lot of times they'll have Glock parts, but
Yeah.
now if you go buying stuff off of eBay and stuff like that, you're going to get bid a lot of times because you're going to get parts that somebody else has already screwed up. I wouldn't buy parts off eBay except for, maybe a trigger shoe or, something that's not a functional part. A pin, how bad can you screw up a pin? Or stuff that's not a functional to make the gun safe and function. I would keep with good parts, and even not factory parts. But the thing is, you need to learn how these parts work in your builds. That's the whole thing. It's not one part's better than another part. It's that some parts are made to drop in and have a bigger tolerance, plus or minus, than other stamp parts. That's why you need to know. And just think about it. What makes a target pistol and not just a backyard plinker? It's how tight the tolerance is in all the functioning parts of this pistol. That's what makes one, the target, and another one, the shoot a can in the backyard.
Little tolerance, yeah.
That's why Rook rails are so great. They hold such a tight tolerance. They hold that slide straight, and it's not bouncing around, and it just hit better. It's just fat. Tighter tolerances means tighter groups.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anything else on ordering enough parts or ordering cheap parts, guys? I think Hawkeye kind of summed it up.
Always buy two or three.
And do your research before you order some stuff. If you happen upon a site that you're not familiar with, come over to the Builders Tribe forum, go over to Reddit, go over to your Patriot Gun Builders, go over to some other of those sites and ask questions.
Yep.
If you're not sure, the community will usually have an answer for you.
Oh, we're all too willing to say yes, go with these, or no, don't.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, some people, they like to say, well, I only use OEM parts. Now, there are some OEM parts that I won't budge on, but I mean, there are some other parts out there that are pretty damn good that I've had no problem with. So, all right, cool.
And, I like the regular Glock parts because what I like doing is all the custom stuff. I don't like spending all my time figuring out why this thing don't work. You know what I mean?
Fair.
What'd you have, Nas?
I was just going to say, and remember, if you go over to the Builders Tribe website, you join the forum, we do have that list of codes for when you do order those parts. You can save some money, so you're not hurting the pocketbook quite so much.
Absolutely.
They're the people I deal with.
All right, so next up, what we got? Checking to make sure the company is legit before ordering, and that's absolutely the next step, and it kind of leads right into what Nas was just saying, that we have the list of vendors over there that we trust. Okay, now is it an exhaustive list? Absolutely not. There's companies out there that we have never heard of that we come across and we go, hey, is this a reputable company? Has anybody heard of them? And usually Weapon X, he'll go out to Reddit and he'll do a search and try and find anything, because they talk about any and everything over on Reddit.
I'll go over to Reddit, I'll ask a question, I'll do a search, or I'll pop over a few places, ask a friend. I've always been a firm believer in that. If you don't know the answer to a question, go out and find it. So
that's not necessarily to say that somebody you've never heard of is bad straight up, because there's a lot of, there's always new businesses and organizations do research. If you do, you also got to,
you also got to come into the mind of the parrot game that plays along with a lot of these companies, and a lot of them have been victims to it. Olight has been a victim to it. A lot of people that hate Olight due to, one or two issues that happened, not even with a weapon light in regards to the issue, so
while we're talking about
watch the parrot game
companies.
Oh no.
I just don't understand why companies would do the things they do. And I don't have a problem calling a company out. I'll call you out live. I'll call you out on a recording. I really don't care. But if you do me wrong, I'm going to let all my brothers and sisters know when the wrong has been done. Because if I don't tell you and I let you go and purchase from this company and then they do you dirty like they've done me dirty, and we're not talking about the last company. We're not talking about the slide company. We're talking about the most recent company, Delta Team Defense, also known as Davidson Defense. Most of you know, huh? Delta Team Tactical. Sorry. Also known as Davidson Defense. They're the parent company.
Goes by another name too.
Yeah, it goes by another name also, but they're a very small company. I came to find out that all you guys know, I ordered a 76% frame, which I still have. You guys know I was trying to return it, right? They kept running me through back and forth. Oh, you need an RMA, you need a return authorization, and you can't send it back without a return authorization. So send us pictures of it to make sure it hasn't been touched. So it hasn't been, altered at all, and we'll send you an RMA. So I send you the pictures. 3 weeks go by, no RMA. I call again. The guy goes, no notes on you even calling to get an RMA. Okay, so send me an RMA. Oh, wait, I see your email. Okay, send me an RMA. No, you got to talk to this department. Okay. When will that department call me? Oh, they'll call you in the next couple of days. Okay. If they don't call me within 5 business days, I'm doing a chargeback. I still have not heard from them, and I ended up having to do a chargeback because they're not returning phone calls, texts, or emails anymore.
That's bullshit.
Yep.
So, yeah. Delta Team, MMC Armory, Omega. Yeah. So it took them almost a month to send me the frame. Almost a month to send me the frame, and then they didn't want to take it back and didn't want to give me a refund. So I used my American Express, so American Express gave me the refund. They only have till today's Tuesday. They have till Friday to respond, and they still have not responded.
Send them their frame postage, dude.
Yeah.
No, I just like Weapon said. Now I own a unicorn.
Yep.
Because they won't take it back, but I got my money back already.
Keep it for a future build. You know that one plain Jane build you were planning on doing? Use that for the plain Jane build.
If I run out of frames, I might, but until then, it'll sit on the shelf. And if they contact and say they're either going to charge me or I'll send it back. I don't want it. I wanted to send it back. They just won't take it. But anyway, that just goes down to checking to make sure the company is legit before ordering. And it is a legit company. I am not saying they're not a legit company. They just have horrible customer service. And they don't. One guy tried to say, oh, well, you can't return an 80% frame. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said 80% frames do not adhere to the return policy. So I quickly went into their policy and highlighted where it says, as long as it's untouched, they'll take it back and send me a refund with a 20% stock. I mean, not 20%, 5% restock fee, which was fine. You want to charge me a restock fee? I'll send it back. No problem. I'll take the hit.
Yeah, to get the bulk of your money back. Sure.
Yeah. And right. But they didn't want to send any of it back. So I got all of it back. So definitely check to make sure the company, check our list. Make sure it's not on the list because all of those companies that they go by are going on the list after this show.
Yeah.
Because we believe in making sure y'all don't get taken advantage of. Right. If it happens to us, it is what it is. But we want to make sure that far and wide they don't take advantage of anybody. What were you about to say, Nas?
Right, or at least it's a beware before entering.
Yeah,
on some of them.
Here there be dragons. No, check, make sure they're legit. Yes, but also make sure that they have good customer service reviews too, because they might be legit, but not be the best on customer service.
Right. Sarge got somebody to add to the list.
All right.
So yeah, we'll add them. I mean, we don't have to do any investigation. If you guys say we should add them, we'll add them. I don't care. Because if your word is good as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody here right now is somebody that's been part of the tribe for a long time.
Yeah. So anything else on this one, guys? No. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Not factoring in magazines and ammo to the overall cost.
I've seen it happen a few times.
Guilty.
It's
Guilty.
hilarious.
Guilty.
It's hilarious. Especially new builders, you know.
I did not know SIG mags were as expensive as they were before I started building the SIGs.
Oh my goodness, they are expensive. Mm-hmm. and do note the pluralization on magazine. One is not enough.
Yes, one is not enough.
Plan on at least 2, preferably 3, because things happen. We've been down that road before.
Yeah. What was it? And don't buy cheap mags. Do not buy cheap mags, guys, unless you're just going to use them to go to the range. All right, let me preface it with that. If you just need a bunch of mags to do mag dumps at the range or whatever, buy as many cheap mags as you want. Buy all the ETS or EPS, whatever ETS mags, or the Amend 2 mags. And I have no experience with either one of those. It's just the stories I've heard. But because I usually only get the I did buy for my SIG. I bought a Pro Mag, but that's just to go to the range until I decide to carry my P320. I'll run that at the range, no problem, because I'm just at the range. But if you're going to carry something, guys, get good magazines, get good ammo. We talked about ammo last week.
Yes.
So, if you didn't see last week's show, go see last week's show. We talked about carry ammo and good ammo to carry versus some ammo that might not be as good. But yeah, guys, what do you guys have to share on magazine and ammo's overall costs and everything?
I mean, I'm just going to say the same thing. If I'm going to carry it, it's going to be OEM. I may trust, 1 or 2 of the PMags that I own as well, but otherwise it's going to be OEM.
When it comes to carry, especially, and testing, always go with at least 1 OEM, and preferably test all of your non-OEM gear before putting it out live.
Yeah, I'm for one. I carry in my Glock. I carry a OEM Glock mag, and my backup isn't a Glock mag, but I've never had any problem with it, and I've run hundreds of rounds through it. So I trust it to be my backup. So
I think that's also it too. I mean, there's going to be good batches of magazines, and you're going to get the occasional ones that fuck up. If you're running an ETS mag like M. Adams does with no issues, and it's continuously no issues, I say, fuck, run it. If you a couple thousand rounds and you're not experiencing nothing, go right ahead.
Yeah. Just be aware that there are some issues with some batches. So, but if your batch is great, run it.
Right. Ed Levance had a 45 of the follower fold over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah.
And
SIG mags are definitely overpriced.
I was going to say to Ed Levance's comment to the mag follower fold over, how would you know it was folding over? It's a clear joke. Get it? How would you? Never mind.
Yeah.
God damn it, I hate myself.
That's okay. We all like it. It's fine.
What about ammo? What about ammo costs, guys? With not factoring in how much ammo costs for
you get these. You get a lot. Happens to a lot of people, and I've seen it a few times. They'll get their build all slapped together, and next thing you know, they're on Reddit or they're on another builder's forum. Like, hey guys, anybody know where I could find magazines? I don't have any for this build. Do you know where I can get them for cheap? Because they just blew all their cash.
Check the forum. We have the list of all of the mag vendors over there too.
No ammo, no mags. I've been using Lucky Gunner for a while for ammo and mags occasionally. Pretty good.
I hear
great experiences with them.
As per John, the Gun Collective, the Mag Shack has all of the mags you need. The Mag Shack at the Mag Shack. Mag Shack's not bad. They got pretty decent prices. But anyway, ammo costs. I did not realize before I built the 10 millimeter that 10 millimeter ammo is expensive.
Oh, yeah.
10 millimeter range ammo ranges from $23 to $32 a box for range ammo. Even at the cheapest places I haven't found it for less than $20 for a box of full metal jacket, brass, steel, whatever. Nothing less than $20, man.
Wow.
So yeah, I ran a box of 25, and that range report will come in the next couple of days. But 25, what do you call it? What was it? PC. I can't remember. It was a defense round that I had a box of that I got from a buddy. That's all I had. I didn't have any range ammo, so I was like, well, I was going to run this through it anyway, so I might as well just go ahead and run it through. Ran it through flawless. So, but that shit's expensive.
Mm-hmm, that's the Lord's caliber, good sir. That's the Lord's caliber. Costs a little extra for the Lord's caliber.
Yes, 300 black is expensive. I ran through 2 mags of 300 black trying to get my freaking scope zeroed. I didn't even have enough ammo to go ahead and get the red dot zeroed because I used it all just trying to get the scope zeroed. That shit's expensive. For sure.
I'm cheap now. I'm just telling you, I've never had a lot of money to spend on stuff. I stick with military calibers, 9 millimeters, 45s, 5.56. And if I buy them, I can save the brass and I can reload them. And I like shooting the same weight bullet throughout.
If you reload, you can definitely get by on a lot of this stuff. So
but Bob countered that with, as for ammo cost, tell yourself at least I'm not reloading ammo. So there's the time spent versus money spent argument to be had.
Yeah,
it takes time.
Well, that not only that, but hunting down primers and all that shit that reloaders have to do. And
back when I did most of the reloading, I was shooting anywhere from 300 to 600 rounds a week. And I didn't have the money to do all that, but I could reload a lot cheaper than I could buy. And that's what I would do at night. I'd sit there and had our old rock chucker.
Am I the only one here that's am I the only one here that's imagining Hawkeye casting his own bullets?
I used to cast my own bullets. I used to go to all the gas stations and collect all the wheel weights and melt them down, and I'd make 45s, 9 millimeters, and 38s.
Wow. Okay.
And I'll tell you,
by any means necessary, right?
Yeah, the best deal I ever got. I got an 8-pound keg of it was round singular powder, and it was used for machine gun powder. And I would take it and I would load 30-06s with it because they had a chart that I could load 30-06s. And it filled the case up so high when I seat the bullet in it, it actually put pressure on it. I shot those for a long time. They shot really good. And after you shoot them, if you kind of tilt your gun down, powder would roll out. But I got a good deal on that on 8-pound kegs. I shot a lot of 30-06s back then, deer hunting. And anyway,
cool.
It's all anything you want to do. If you think about it, you can figure out how to get it done with a little bit of money instead of spending, gobs of money.
No doubt.
And next to the MacGyver minute.
Guys, just factor in your magazines and ammo.
Set aside at least $100 for your magazines and ammo. At least you figure that way you've got at least 2 magazines and you've got a few boxes of ammo to run through.
And listen, if you're starting out, go ahead and buy the Glock magazines. Just do it for the hassle value. You're going to buy magazines anyway. You might as well buy the ones you're going to use.
Now that kind of leads us definitely. Go ahead and get them especially if you find them, get them whether you need them or not.
I mean, sometimes you can find Glock magazines on sale for $14-15.
Yep.
Springs break, it happens as well. Yeah.
Well, this subject kind of leads us into this one, not having enough testing ammo to work out issues on the range or zero your red dot. because if you think you're going to go to the range and you might be that good, and I've had maybe one out of the ones that I've gone to the range and had to put it back in the damn bag because it just wasn't working right. I think the first plain Jane I built, that thing had more problems, and I built that one kind of cheaply because it was a plain Jane. I was like, you know what, let me just put it together as cheap as possible. And I found out why you don't do that. You got tolerant stacking, you got all kinds of issues, you got inferior out of spec parts, you got this, that, or the other. But if I didn't have enough ammo to test, I go to the range with at least one full box of ammo to test with.
At least.
And a backup box just in case.
Do you ever use a bore sight?
I've never used a bore sight. I
got laser bore sights for all my calibers, and before I actually
I hear they're very good.
Go out.
I have one. Just don't have batteries for it.
Yeah, they don't hold up very long, but they'll work long enough for you to get close, and then when you go to the range, it's just a matter of tweaking it in. You don't shoot as much ammo.
I have 2 9mm laser bore sights, but the company that sent me them sent them with the wrong batteries twice.
That's sad. That's sad.
The second time, I was just like, you know what? I'll just find them somewhere. Fuck it.
Yes, Ed. The 50 round box, not the 20 or 25. That's what you shoot when you want to. Okay, you got you've worked out all the kinks, and you know what you want to shoot for defensive ammo. You want to run those just so you know how the difference in feel is going to be. Because most defensive ammo is going to feel different than your range ammo. Even if it's the same weight, bullet weight, it's going to feel different. Now, some people can tell the difference, some people can't, but I always suggest people run a box of that just so they know that if they're caught in a situation where they have to use that with defensive ammo, that they know what it's going to feel like. I can't say that I can feel an absolute difference, but I do know the new SIG I built shoots a lot flatter with defensive ammo than with the range ammo.
I think I can feel it a little bit, but I can definitely hear it and smell it more than anything.
Yeah. And it definitely depends if you're using Wolf versus something reputable.
Oh man.
You get a
face
full of you use that nasty Wolf stuff. Oh my gosh.
I've only run one box of that.
Looking like a raccoon.
One box. Yeah, I've only run one box before a range officer was like, "Are those steel case?" No. I was like, fuck it, you got me. I'll pick them up. Hold on.
I mean, I can use anything on the range. You just don't want to use that nasty stuff if you can avoid it, man. I mean, sometimes like when I went to get my certification, my instructor certification. Would make sure your defensive ammo hits close to where, when I went to get my certification, I knew we were going to be shooting outside, and money was tight, so I took Wolf. We're outside, plenty of ventilation.
Yep,
but it was what I could afford, and I had to take it. So, guys, don't get me wrong. I'd rather you shoot and practice with something than nothing. But if you can avoid it, don't go with the cheap shit. Real talk. If you're just testing something, you just want to see if it fires.
I mean,
what'd you say?
During the drought, most recent, Wolf was all I could get for some time. It's like, well, I gotta have something, but it was not good and
something's
so
better
dirty.
than nothing, but you want to avoid it if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dirty ammo.
Yep. So that's number 4. And let's go ahead to number 5. We are rounding up at about 40 minutes. So let's go ahead to number 5. Time rushing.
Wolf ammo, the spam of ammo.
Wolf ammo, the spam. Yeah. I agree. I've used it. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to breathe it. It's not fun.
Welcome, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
What's going on, Monty? Time rushing. Like this is a euphemism from Mr. Weapon X. This isn't a Pez dispenser. It's a firearm. Absolutely.
Yep.
No
reason to rush it. I just want it to work.
Well, if you want it to work, take your time.
What that sentence just doesn't register to me when it comes to a firearm. I just want to cobble it together and shoot off a few rounds. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it safe, do it right, and do it right the first time.
Yep.
Take your time, take it slow. I think what happens to a lot of new builders is you get excited. You just want to get that thing slapped together. You got all your parts. You're just getting twitching like a little tweaker. You just want to get to it, and you don't sit and think, to take your time and work slowly. And, if you speed and rush through things, you can mess up. And, if you go to try to take the Dremel to the channel like a eager beaver, it's going to look like a chewed down tree by the time you're done with it. So
that ain't going to do anybody any good.
Yeah, take your time.
Then you're going to be on the forum. Why doesn't my firearm work? Well,
how come when I rack the slide, like it gets stuck on something, and then it doesn't chamber the round, it like gets stuck, and I like slap the back of it. I just don't get it. And then you're like, let me see a picture of your channel real quick. What the fuck happened to oh my good Lord. It's like the little girl from the Rings crawling out the fucking TV at you. You're like, what did you do to that thing? Did you try to fuck it? You tried to fuck it, didn't you?
Yeah, please don't do the presidential way of building.
Don't slap that big bad thing there.
Yeah, don't slap it together in 30 minutes.
Take your time.
Take your time. It might take you a few days to do it.
Do your research. Don't rush.
Yeah.
I think we had talked about it when we were chatting about these segments, and it was if you've never held a drill before, if you've never used a Dremel, the last thing you should probably be doing is taking that tool to $150 frame. Go outside, grab a piece of wood, grind some wood for a couple of minutes. Fucking go buy some IKEA furniture and put it together.
You know how many you know how many A2 grips I stippled before I actually put an iron to a freaking. I mean, I'm still apprehensive when I go to stipple a frame. I'm like, I messed it up. I know I can fix it, but it's still like, I blow through it. I mean, Liberator, I pushed through Liberator's frame a couple times.
Monty said he thinks he speaks for the majority. He always does a rough draft build, puts it together, and then gets it working. So, I mean, I think all of us kind of do. I do an initial build, then I do a tweak where I go and I, sand and polish some more and just get everything lined up to the way it's supposed to be. And then I do a third. And I think at least for three of us in this group here, my third step is to make it gorgeous.
Yeah. You're right. Because I have, I mean, there's nothing else to be said there. It's like, it's nothing wrong with a dry fit. You put, you drilled the holes. All right, let's put it together, make sure everything fits, and take it apart and make it all pretty and everything.
Well, and I think you guys know I do mock-ups for my build. So I go on a computer, I mock up with parts and everything. And you know what? Sometimes, dude, when you actually put that part on the firearm, you look at it and you go, all right, I need to go on the internet and I need to order something different. So definitely.
Just like the slide that I just did. These guys, the guy up there and the other guy, the guy over there and the guy up there, they're not my mentors, but my counsel. I've been building this build and I send it to all of them. Hey, what do you think of this? And they go, yes, no, maybe this will change. And the last change I did to it, I'm looking at it and going, I sat here for at least an hour looking at the slide going, something's missing. Something's not right. Looks good. It's not over the top yet. Yeah. What is it? And then I put it on.
That's when it takes a life of its own. It's talking to you as you're building it, going, I want to be this.
Yeah.
I want to go this direction.
So I did a mock-up on Photoshop, and I sent it to them. And they go, "That's it, that's it. Now it's on point." And Hawkeye was like, "Yeah, that looks great. Did you do it?" I'm like, "No." Nas had said, "Yeah, man, that looks better." I'm like, "Yeah, that ain't even that's the mock-up." And then that night, I went ahead and did the change, and I think it looks outstanding.
Yeah.
So the next,
I said it's outside of the norm.
The guy up there is getting it next to do some work on it. So it is it'll go out by Friday. The latest.
A barrel of fun.
Yeah. And thanks to that guy over there, he has some new tools to use to do it.
Yeah, I do, man.
Oh man, I love this family. I love this family.
Bud. Me too.
Building squares.
One of the things about getting your bills right and not making a mistake is planning your steps as you go.
Yeah.
Before you do them.
Yeah.
Do a step and go, okay, I'm going to do this. How will this affect this? Okay, I go to the next. How does that affect? And how does that affect? And this, it's not, when you're first building, you drill your holes and you clean the tabs off. That's pretty standard. But when you start going into your stippling projects and your painting projects and, etching and stuff like that, you need to plan your steps as you go and get them clear in your head that when you do this, it's not going to affect this. And then I can do this to this one later. Or you got to get all this straight in your head. Otherwise, you'll be taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 forwards, and back and forth.
Visualize.
That is real important. And
grab a pen and a piece of paper. Write your parts down that you're going to need. Write what your steps are going to be.
Yeah, and I think each step affects the next step.
Yeah, I think with this last build that I did, I was like, I'm going to do the build today, and then next week on Wednesday, I'm going to do my stippling. And then this next week on blah, 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 I'm going to do this. And these are the steps that I'm going to work out, in my head as I'm planning that day, 3 days in advance, instead of just getting to it and going and just trying to, figure out what your plan of attack is on it.
Yeah. So planning, I think what everybody's saying is planning is key. Yep. If you plan it, it'll go smooth. It might take you longer, but it'll be smooth when you do it.
Yeah.
You'll make less mistakes.
Taking your time and going slow is what keeps your tolerances tight. And that's what's going to make your gun be a backyard shooter or a target shooter.
It also
that's just the way it works.
Also keep you from having to do things over.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you can.
Time. Yeah.
Sometimes you go so far you can't do it over again.
You can't go back. Right. Yep. Because if you rush taking them tabs off,
then you can only take so much polymer off. You can't put it back.
Well, in some cases.
Well,
yeah, you can.
In your very important spots, you can't put it back. In your grip, you can put it back. You can melt it and put it back. And trust me, I had a hole in Liberator. I just melted a hole back into it, melted a tab into it, and just re-stippled it. But I mean, it happens. It was thinner than I thought, and I blew right through it. My iron was too hot. I went to stipple it and went straight through, and I went,
and
how do I fix this?
Each frame, each brand frame has different soft spots.
Yeah,
I like that euphemism.
They're all not the same.
Plan it like you would giving yourself a haircut. You don't just grab a clippers and run in.
No problem. No problem with a haircut.
Okay. Well, when Weapons gives himself a haircut.
Oh man, you guys! Crack me up.
75% of the crew are like, "What hair?"
So, guys, in the chat, what else have we missed? What have we missed, guys? What else do you guys do when you're planning? What do you plan that we haven't mentioned? Because I'm sure there's several things that we haven't mentioned. I mean, I myself, when I'm planning, I'll know how I want it to look, but I might test out in my head, or I'll get weapon to a weapon. Here's a profile of this slide. What do you think it is? Fit it on it. Money. Yeah, absolutely. Budget. What's your budget? And Levance goes, yeah, money. What is your budget?
And whatever you think your budget is, if you think you have $600 to spend, no, you only have $5.
Yeah.
Because something's going to come up and you'll be like, oh, well, now I need to buy a whatever.
You might end up having to double your budget.
Here's how I budget my builds now.
That's why it takes so long to build some of the best looking builds out there.
Right.
Is people take their times buying parts. They don't try to get them and just slap them all together and there it is. It may take 6 months. I know for me, it takes a year of planning. You know, like I'm finishing up 2 now, and I'm already planning what I'm going to do next winter. And I got one that I'll probably do this summer. And it's just a remake. But that's what I'm saying. It's planning long term, not short term.
Yeah.
You know, the money can be huge. You know, especially when you start talking about this slide costs more than my manufacturer's gun I just bought. You're like, what? You know, I try not to buy expensive slides, but it's like seems like the expensive ones are the ones that I like the most.
Yep. Same.
Or you might think about, you know, frames were inexpensive a little while back, but now they're back up to regular price since now the ATF has been slapped on the wrist. So now if that was part of your plan to buy a inexpensive frame, like what did I get? Oh, I got the SIG FCUs. I got them for $40 a piece, but now they're up to 60. So if you were planning on, they'll be at $40 a piece when I'm ready, now they're up to 70. Now that's $30 you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who here has told their wife, guys in the chat, who here has told their wife, babe, I got to get it now because it's on sale?
Guilty.
You know why? You know why?
Because it's on sale.
There's a reason why you do that. And that's because that's the way they think.
Yeah.
Your wife is always buying something on sale. So when you say it's on sale, it's
on
the
sale,
last one, I got to get it now.
I'm not sure when it'll be on sale again.
Exactly. They understand.
Who's going to post up Monty? Hey, it is what it is. It happens. But we're not lying. It is on sale. And it might not be on sale every day. Might not be on sale again for a long time. Just like right now, what you call it? Anybody see the Glock store ad I put up in deals today?
I haven't checked yet. No.
The CAGWorks extended in the CAGWorks slide release that I posted up a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's on sale today, 12% off at the Glock store.
Nice.
So that makes it $42 instead of $50.
Had you already gotten the one for?
I got one for the current build, but
okay.
The problem I have with my grip, every one I have except the SIG that I built, every Glock that I have, my thumb on my trigger, it rides on top of the mag release or the slide release, so I never get the last round hold open because my thumb is always sitting there on it, so it never pops up. So I'm like, I need two right now, and I have until midnight to buy two. Babe, it's on sale. I need two of them. I need two, but I'm probably not going to get them because I'm trying to finish this other build, and I want to dedicate every penny I need to it. So I probably won't get it, but it'll be on sale again. But that's one of the things, like, if I really, really, really wanted to get it for the plain Jane I got on deck and what I'm currently carrying, I could. But I'd have to, do a little finagling. But
that's always the way.
Give her a taste of her own medicine, Bob. Yes, Bob.
Yeah, I got a question.
The FC. Hold on a second, Hawk. I want to answer Bob's question. He asked, "Are SIG FCUs back?" Yes, you can get FCUs at U.S. Patriot Armory for $69.99, and that's the serialized one. And then they also have the MUP ones for I think 147. So if you want to build the 80% FCU, they have them. If you want to build the serialized, they have them. They have the lower parts kit, and I don't think they have the upper parts kit, but Rainier, I forget. Rainier Arms, I think it is. They have the upper parts kit. Midway has the upper parts kits, and who else have the upper parts? I think Midwest Industries has it. But if you guys want to know who has the parts, I'll post it up in the forum. If you don't know the forum address, I'm sure Nas is about to throw it up on the screen. So if you want the information, go over there. It's free. Create an account. Join us over there. All of the information will be over there. So unserialized, yes, U.S. Patriot Army has them. Go over there, USPatriotArmory.com. You can find them over there, and you can get them. I think they also have the jig, which is supplied to them by JSD Supply. JSD may have them as well. So between JSD or US Patriot, you can find them over there. So, and Droney said builderstribe.org to get any other information on SIG parts. I know where they are because I'm looking. I'm having to build 2 more here real soon. So what else we got, guys? We're coming up on 57 minutes.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got anything else tonight? And next up, guys, go ahead.
I got a question.
I was just going to say, I just threw the link to US Patriot Armory, the P320 fire control units with lower parts kit in the chat, so people should be able to see it because we posted it.
Yep, should be able to see it. Yep. What's up, Hawkeye? What you got?
Well, I'm working on an idea for a future build, and I got a question on if anyone's ever done any inlays, like woodworking inlays, where they use that epoxy and they mix up their mixture and they pour in it. I need to know what temperature I can go to with the epoxy. If I use that epoxy, if I can put it in my paint oven and it not melt. And that's a question I'm having a hard time finding, is what's the temperature rating on some of the epoxies.
I know I always just air cured mine. Let it sit overnight and cure on its own.
Yeah, well, that's no problem. The problem is after I do all this work,
UV light.
After I do all this work on the inlay and I go ahead and paint, can I put it in the oven? Because some epoxies will get soft when you start heating them up.
You'd have to figure out what the melting temp is. Sometimes they'll get soft and not go back to hard state either.
See, that's what I need to know. I know there's an AB epoxy, a clear epoxy they use, and then there's an epoxy they use, and then they harden it with a UV light. And I would really like to know.
I'm using resin to do my inlays because resin, once it's hard, it ain't gonna melt. Right. So I can throw it in the oven anytime I want.
Okay, is it the 2-part kind or is it the
UV? Yeah. My wife has both. We're gonna test them both. She has one that has the UV hardener, and then she has the one that's the 2-part that she uses on her paintings. And I know that one, once it's hard, it's hard. It's not gonna melt at all. I mean, it's hardened like glass. I mean, they have to get hot enough to melt glass, which we're never going to get anything that hot.
Yeah. If you could shoot me the brand that you use.
Yeah, I absolutely can, because I always buy it. I'm the one that always buys it for Christmas.
Because I'm wanting to try to do some inlay.
Okay. Cool. I will definitely send that to you. Blade Boy out of stock 80%. Just get on their mailing list, dude. Get on their newsletter. When they come in stock, they'll send it to you. I promise you, every time they get them in, they send it to me.
Second link just posted in to just the OEM FCU listed in stock for that. Obviously, FFL required for that. As opposed to the prior link, which was like the whole kit and caboodle. So it's a start.
There you go, Blade Boy. All All right. One
Sorry,
thing
bud.
before we
Was in the
go,
middle
I
of
wanted to address
hospital
Matt.
search.
Matt, I hope you're still here. Matt, if you're still here, hit us up in the chat. Let us know you're still here, dude. He's his build with the SCT frame. He got some other parts from Rook and everything. I didn't see anything in your pictures that showed me what might be the problem, and I still think it's the connector, but it could be your trigger housing, which is why you got a replacement trigger housing. Once you get that back together, dude, let us know how it's working out, because I do believe your trigger issue is going to be either the trigger housing or the connector. Before you put the connector in, if you're still here and you're listening, before you put the connector in, take a picture. Before you put the housing into the frame, take a picture from the rear of to show us the angle of your connector. All right, because if the bend angle is wrong, you're going to get a mushy feeling, and you're not going to get a clear, crisp when you hit the wall, when you pull the trigger. You might get it once or twice, and then it'll still move out like you had before. It started acting right, and then it went back to being mushy or nasty. So if you're listening to this, and I'll try to remember to go into the forum and say that as well, to take a picture of it so we can see the bend angle. I don't have anything apart right now where I could show you the proper bend angle, but maybe I could show you a picture from my book. But anything guys
45 degrees.
It's
at 45 degrees.
Yeah. But other than that, guys, I've had a ball tonight, man. This has been good because, we could have talked about, operation. We could have talked about safety. We could talk about all of that. But if you don't plan, none of that matters. If you don't plan how you're going to do something, none of it matters. If you're just going to, I'll just buy all these parts and not plan. Sarge, I'm not sure if Sarge is still here, but I know on Instagram, he, gets all his parts and he'll post a picture of, okay, this is what I'm planning on putting together and so on and so forth. And, it's like, oh man, it's the anticipation. You can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? You can't wait to see how it came out, but he always plans. He always gets all his parts. And sometimes it takes patience to get everything and put it aside. And I've got frames in my shop that's been there for over a year waiting for me to build them. But because I've already planned out and I already have a build list for them, I know what it's going to cost me. I just have to be patient, not to spend all the money at once. You know what I mean? I told my wife, I said, look, I got all the parts I need at this point. Until I get some of these builds done, I'm not buying any more frames. I'm not buying any more. The only reason I bought the 76% frame is to build it out, to see what it was like and possibly help someone else with building it out. So we'll see. But also be careful from whom you order a kit from. Yeah. Not almost. Yeah. Sorry about that, Nas. So we are past the 11 o'clock hour. We are actually 6 minutes over. We appreciate you guys. Again, if anybody want to join us in the green room, we'll be here for at least 5-10 minutes until we start falling asleep. And I know Nas is usually the first guard.
I need to
get
cut out
up
soon.
in the morning. Only because you have the first to have to get up in the morning, Nas. We know you need your beauty sleep. And Mr. You. I know you guys are beautimous now. You've lost all that weight, man. You guys are looking great. But I know Mr. Weapon X, he's on the tired side. But we got a couple of things we want to toss around before we call it a night. So, but with that being said, man, it's been a wonderful night. I appreciate all of you. It's just been great because just be aware that the first week of next month we're going to be talking about. I don't know. We'll figure it out because we kind of just figured out what we wanted to talk about. We'll figure out a proper order for everything, and we'll let you know. But next week is the second week, so the week after that, Hawkeye is going to be in charge the third week. But we'll let you know within the next day or so what our subject for next week is going to be, and we'll go from there. So if you guys have any questions, any suggestions, please put them up in the forum. We appreciate you all, and we'll talk to y'all later. Good night, everybody.
Peace
See you
out,
next
y'all.
week.